Wake up, rise and shine. It's a brand new day with Mo and News. It's time to have your say. She's got the scoop, the stories, all the latest trends. Mo's got the news, let's hear it. My dear friends, from politics to showbiz, no story's too small. Mo covers it all. She's got the inside call, her voice so smooth, like honey in the summer sun. With Mo on the mic, you know the news is always fun. Mornings with Mo, the best newsy news in the world. With her style so classic and her stories unfurled, from morning till night, she's got us in the know. Turn on your radio, let Mo's newsy news flow.
Hello, everyone. It is September the 23rd, and have you started planning your Halloween haul, map out sessions? Because apparently my boys have reliably told me that we should start packing or picking out our very strategical, Halloween haul planning sessions. I did not know that this was a thing. I didn't know that it even had strategery in it, but apparently it is the 23rd, and have you started planning for Halloween yet? That is the breaking news from the youngest, most feral. Welcome, Wolfram, and thank you for doing all of the mod stuff. I hope you had a great weekend. Alice G and Christine, I hope you're doing great. Grady Bloke and Colorado Mountain Girl, welcome. Squaw Bob, welcome. Nanny Goat, and everyone, good morning. So yes, if you haven't started planning your Halloween, how to get the giant candy bars, are you even really Halloweening? Again, I did not know this was a thing, but apparently as a boy mom, I have been in bad form. Our first story, welcome Prunella, is actually a good one, so mark that on your calendar. A 6-year-old boy abducted from California in 1951 was found safe on the East Coast after a 70-year search. Well, I mean, I'm glad they finally found him, but good night, nurse. That was a long wait. A California family's 70-year-long search for their kidnapped relative ended in June after online DNA test finally put them on the right track to complete the opposite on the completely opposite end of the country. Luis Armando Albino, a retired firefighter and Vietnam War veteran living on the East Coast, was kidnapped from a park in Oakland, California in 1951 when he was 6 years old. Holy fazolies. He'd been playing with his older brother when a woman wearing a bandana approached him, speaking to him in Spanish, promising that she would buy him candy if he came with her. It's always that free candy. For many of his family members, including his mother, who died in 2005, Jeff Montgomery, I am hoping that by wearing my pumpkin spice shirt, we will stop having hot days, muggy and humid days, because I can't right now with this. I'm like, look, I don't even like pumpkin spice, but I will dress for the occasion if we can get some cooler weather. Now, terribly sad for the mother who passed away in 2005, still thinking he was lost. And, as a mom, your mind never goes to the really good situations. It's always the terrible, horrific, catastrophes that are probably happening to your child. And I'm sure that was a weight that she carried all the rest of the years of her life. But the family did still continue to hold out hopes that maybe they would figure out what happened to their family member, keeping, the 6-year-old photos of their brother, son, cousin in their house. After being kidnapped, Luis was flown across the country and raised by a couple on the East Coast. Officials and family members did not specify where on the East Coast he lives today, and authorities still have an open investigation into his abduction. Luis's niece, 63-year-old Alida Aquain, stumbled across her long-lost kinship after taking an online DNA test in 2020 just for fun. The test showed a 22% match with a complete stranger who would turn out to be albino or albino. I'm going to go albino. She tried to reach out with him but had no luck. She and her daughters picked up the search again in early 2024, digging through microfilm archives in Oakland Tribute at the Oakland Public Library. The articles from 1951 detailed the search party's tireless efforts to find Luis, including deep dives into the San Francisco Bay and other waterways. His older brother Roger, who was interrogated several times, repeatedly attested he saw a woman wearing a bandana leading Luis away. Armed with archives and including one picture of Luis and Roger, Alcuin presented enough evidence to law enforcement to open a new missing person case for her missing uncle. Oakland police recognized Alcuin's efforts, noting that she, quote, played an integral role in finding her uncle, and that the outcome of this story is what we strive for. Yet another DNA test, this time comparing Luis's with Alcuin's mother, investigators solidified the match and told the family on June 20th that their uncle had been found. We didn't start crying until after the investigators left, Alcuin said. I grabbed my mom's head and said, we found him. I was ecstatic. The Federal Bureau of Investigation helped arrange for Luis and his family to come to California for the long-awaited reunion. He met Alcuin, her mother, and relatives on June 24th. Alcuin told the Bay Area News that Luis hugged me and said, thank you for finding me, and gave me a kiss on the cheek. The next day he visited Roger in San Elias County, California. They grabbed each other and had a real long, tight hug. They just sat down and talked, Alcuin said, including discussing the day of the kidnapping and their shared military service. Luis, who became a dad and grandfather on the East Coast, returned to California for a 3-week visit in July, just before Roger's passing in August. I was always determined to find him, and who knows, with my story out there, it could help other families going through the same thing, Alcuin said. I would say don't give up. Welcome, Swifty. I would love to hear more about this story. I think this would be a great story for someone to do more investigation in and on. I would love to be able to dedicate myself to do a more extensive deep dives, but I am really trying to be honest with myself about how much time I have and still, having that balance for momming and, getting stuff done and laundry. So if anyone could just find several hundred other hours in the day, that would be awesome. And what a good story. My heart does go out to the mother that thought she lost her child for all those years. But what a wonderful thing to know that they eventually found him, even if it was late. The DOJ is going to go after the ship that knocked down the Francis Scott Key Bridge, saying that the ship was jury-rigged and makeshift with attempts to cover dangerous conditions. We call that Appalachia engineering around here, and how dare you make fun of Hill Chuck Remedies, federal government. There in your ivory tower with parts that actually, go with whatever it is that you're fixing. Have you not heard of duct tape, FBI? The Department of Justice filed a massive lawsuit Wednesday against the Singapore-based owner and operator of the container ship that crashed into the Francis Scott Key Bridge in Baltimore, unfortunately costing the life of 6 people and injuring 2. The ship named Dolly, Sal has no responsibility for this. If Sal were to get into a weird love thing with, Jodi Arias, I'd believe it. But our Sal has done nothing wrong here, and we do not stand for this disparagement. So it left Baltimore shortly after midnight on March 26th, bound first for Colombo, Sri Lanka, but And then ultimately for Yantan China, Singapore company Grace Ocean International Maritime Organization is the sole owner of the Dolly. Another Singapore company, Synergy International Marine Organization, was the technical manager of the Dolly. Federal prosecutors allege that the defendants oversaw a patchwork of jury rigged attempts to repair issues that required significantly more serious consideration. I mean, I think that's the right spelling, but look, even my autocorrect is like, Heifer, what are you trying to say? Because my autocorrect will be like, autocorrect could not figure out, please spell it more wrongly or spell it better wrongly. I don't know if I'm the only one that has sat there with their autocorrect and I'm like, no, I'm trying to write. For some reason, I have a mental block on aisle. So I will never remember how to spell aisle right. Like what I'm telling Mr. Mo, it's in the bread aisle, cat a corner from the ketchup. I try to give him these like schematics because the only thing I can direct you well in is a Walmart. I know where the Walmart things are, so I can give you like a complete breakdown. Okay, I'm like, babe, okay, if you are going in on the freezer side, then it'll be on an end cap over here, right by this. And he's like, how is it you have an eidetic memory of Walmart, but you cannot figure out which way is left or right? It's like, I don't know. It's my superpower. Thank you, Wolfram. I need you to stay on staff for whenever I need to say these things. But I have a mental break about aisle, how to spell it. I just can't. Even though you guys have helpfully put it in the chat, as soon as I go to put it down, I'm like, E-I. So then I just go to lane because my autocorrect seriously cannot tell me what I am trying to spell when I say aisle. They're like, I don't, the autocorrect's like, babe, maybe you want to use the word lane. Back to the story. So apparently they were fixing everything with Bondo. A Maryland licensed pilot who, according to the DOJ, had been told that the ship was in good working order, directed the Dolly through Fort McHenry Channel. As the Dolly approached Key Bridge, it lost electrical power, and then circuit breakers started to trip open. Now, I am not a marine, knowledge encyclopedia like Jeff is, but I do know that for certain very busy, I guess, ports of entry and waterways, they do have licensed pilots that take over to, I guess, ferry these ships out the best way they can. So they did follow with that particular, standard operating procedure, but obviously didn't, fix the rudder or anything. Now, the DOJ alleged in its complaint that just after 1:20 a.m., the Dolly lost power for 4 minutes, and as a result, its rudders, propellers, anchors, and bow thruster would not function. Now, according to the government, the power failure had been predictable as the ship's owner failed to take necessary steps to counteract long-term effects of heavy vibrations in the ship's transformer and security. Oh, God, no. No. Look, rest in pieces, all those mailbox that young driver Mo started are responsible for being in pieces. No, we do not need Mo being a professional anything when it comes to piloting. I will gladly stay in the kitchen and make sandwiches for those that are better at piloting. I know my own strengths. I can whip up some funeral potatoes, but getting through anywhere water related safely, probably I'm not your gal. Now, instead of fixing the transformer, the owners retrofitted the transformer with anti-vibration braces and welds, both of which cracked over time. It also said that the owners wedged a metal cargo hook between the transformer and nearby steel beam in a makeshift attempt to limit vibration. Well, that's that hillbilly engineering that, I mean, you're not living until you've used a winch to, double up as a support beam. I'm just kidding. I've never done that, but there have been some hill chuck engineering things in my life. And I live in Indiana, full of the hill chuck ingenuity capital of America, where you can see a wheelbarrow that someone has figured it out. This is actually Law and Crime. So Law and Crime did put out this. They do get access to all of the data or all the documents. So they used a cargo hook between a transformer and a nearby steel beam in order to limit vibration, which I don't know. Look, Dennis, if it can't be fixed with duct tape, I don't know what we're doing here. Instead of taking steps to eliminate the source of excessive vibration, petitioners jury-rigged their ship, the government alleged in the complaint. According to the government, the power failure meant that Dolly's anchor was not ready for an emergency release if there was an emergency, as is required by law. By the time the ship finally dropped anchor less than half of the ship's length from the bridge, it was too late to have any effect. The U.S. Attorney General Merrick Garland said Wednesday that the claim was filed to ensure that the costs of clearing the channel and reopening the port of Baltimore are borne by the companies responsible and not by, taxpayers. To be fair, I am the winch and I was holding a winch, so it does kind of confuse me too. I'm just kidding, guys. You guys know I don't know anything about power tools, and not even don't know anything in a sneaky kind of subterfuge way to get out of stuff. No, I am just dead awful. Mr. Mo caught me using his power drill for something, and I didn't realize that I should just get a bigger bit instead of wiggling it back and forth to make a bigger hole. Yeah, I am no longer allowed to have power tools. I don't respect them, and I am not responsible. So I was nowhere near this boat should any duct tape have been used. You would know my duct tape because it's pink and sparkly. That's how you'd know. Now, the disaster did cost more than $100 million in losses and response, plus the 2-month effort to clear the wreckage from the Fort McHenry Channel and open the port of Baltimore again. Shortly after the crash, Grace Ocean and Synergy Marine filed a petition to limit their liability for the disaster to $44 million. However, the DOJ lawsuit requests that the court not only deny that company's request, but requests compensatory damages of $103 million plus unspecified punitive damages. So they would like for all of the companies to bear the burden of this disaster versus the state. I don't know how much that's going to do. And congratulations. Check out Squid Pro Quo. She is doing awesome. She just got monetized. Let's support the people that are trying this out. It's not as easy as it looks sometimes trying to do all the things we do, but I am so excited that other people are coming up and just be full circle. Let's just support people, and everyone has a unique way of saying things, and goodness, if more people can say unique things, then maybe we can get rid of these really boring talking heads on TV. I mean, it's always a goal. Well, now I've heard of snakes on a plane, but vapes on a plane? Where is Samuel L. Jackson when you need him? A London-bound flight descends into panic after a passenger vape explodes. Quote, smoke was coming towards us. Now, I do happen to vape. I think it's a terrible thing. I'm the only person who decided to start this at 40 years old because chronic pain sucks your life out of you. And I can only say I have no excuses. I'm looking at ways to quit already. But can we all just look at each other and agree that if we were stuck on a freaking Boeing airplane, we too might be tempted to bring a smoke in case it's our last one? I mean, I'm getting to the point where I think we should be allowed to take just about darn near anything that's going to get us through this flight without having a panic attack. Because Boeing, I'm telling you what, you've made the American car trip Just a blast. All right. Dramatic video shows airplane passengers racing to escape down emergency slides after a vape exploded in a carry on bag. All 236 passengers were forced to evacuate the EasyJet flight from Greece to London Gatwick Airport on Tuesday after smoke suddenly filled the cabin just before takeoff, with some screaming false fears that there was a, BOMB, according to the Independent. I could smell and see smoke. See, it should have tipped them off when it was like wild berry sparkle, you know, bubble gum. They're like, do I smell? Do I smell blue raspberry? It's just someone's vape pen. I'm joking. This is a joke. Obviously, I would go to the worst, most catastrophe type thing too. I am not going to lie to you. Be like, God bless America. The one time I go on an airplane and it's the target of this kind of thing, dang it. Be like, does this smell like Tutti Frutti to you? So Malachi Griffin, who was a passenger with his dad, did tell him, it was scary. There was smoke coming towards us. I couldn't imagine the fear that probably goes through your mind. So while I'm joking about it now, I would probably still be recovering from my current dramatic stress, episode. And yes, I said current dramatic stress. I will make all stress that is currently happening to me dramatic. All right. It's just how I do. But I do acknowledge that I have that syndrome. Now, I am glad that everyone was okay. They did confirm that it was a vape pen, and since it happened before, they were in the air. This is good, but don't maybe bring your vape pens onto a plane. Look, it doesn't really go on into the article to kind of say how it exploded, but just don't. And it looked like after a delay, they were all able to get where they were going. You guys, I have been on a plane once in 16 years almost. So I'm not on, the sort of flight thing. Now, I can only imagine that this woman has never watched Law and Order of any kind and or Matlock and or Murder, She Wrote, because a Tennessee woman was sentenced to prison for hiring a hitman with $10,000 in Bitcoin to unalive the wife of a man she met on a dating site. Oh Lord, them are some eyes of yes, I will put a hit out of on your wife. Men, be careful. If she has Manson lamps like this, do not go straying, because we have gone way past the bunny boilers, all right? Dan, I will not be ignored has turned into Dan, I'm hiring, an internet hitman. Oh, for the love of holy cow. A Knoxville woman has accepted a plea deal on Wednesday for 100 months in prison for hiring an online hitman to unalive the wife of a man she met on a dating website. Well, I mean, fellas, I guess she will go the distance for you, but she'll be in prison orange. Melody Sacer, 48, shelled out nearly $10,000 in Bitcoin to a man through a dark website, quote, online unalivers market. Chiblets. Okay, Helen Lovejoy, do you really think that the dark web is going to come out and say, like, yeah, I'm a sedu? I mean, at this point, she just needs to be met with Kevin. Oh my gosh, you guys, okay. Marketability, ABC, are you looking at me? Are you listening? I am willing to give my guest host services, my very in-demand guest host services for take a seat. Hi, I'm Mo with Mo in the Deep End. And, they're just walking in like, I was told I was going to meet a hitman. Yeah, did you hire a hitman on, hitmansforsale.com on the dark web? Have a seat. Also, why do you still continue to have a Subway sandwich? To be fair, I would make everyone buy a Subway sandwich. Yeah, you would think that if you found out a man was dating someone or was married and on a dating site, you would just think he's a douche and move on, not try to steal this douche from another woman who should probably, unload the douche too. Welcome to Love Chat with Dr. Mo. If your significant other is a douche, drop them. Oddly enough, she registered her name under Cat Tree. Jesus, Mary and Joseph. This can't be real life. And reached out to the website administrator to advertise her request. Quote, it needs to be a random accident, plant drugs. I do not want a long investigation. She recently moved in with her new husband. What? The target of the hit, only identified by the initials JW, lives in Prattville, Alabama, and met her husband, DW. Well, that explains a lot of things in Arthur that didn't make sense. DW! Anywho, Sazar claims to have met DW on Match.com, a dating website popular with millennials. DW said that Sazar helped him on a hike along the Appalachian Trail before he moved to Alabama to marry JW. So this is what she looks like out and about. I guess she does sort of look semi-normal-ish. Let's be very real-ish. So 2 months after the hit job, 2 months passed after the hit job had been assigned, and Sazar grew impatient. In the meantime, she left threatening voicemails on JW's phone using an app to disguise her voice, according to court documents. She also tracked the couple's location using an app called Stravia, an exercise app where locators upload the mileage and routes of their past runs. Stop doing this, people. Stop leaving your stuff. And welcome, Shizzy Raid. Thank you for joining. Don't track yourself better than the government. I mean, don't put your things up. Holy fazolies. So after she was doing her own sort of recon work, she was really getting very irritated at the hitmen that she had paid for over the internet. So she decided to send him a nasty note. Quote, I have waited 2 months and 11 days, and the job was not completed. 2 weeks ago, you said it had been worked on and that the work would be done in a week. The job is still not done. Does it need to be assigned to someone else? Will it be done? What is the delay? When will it be done? Sazar wrote in a message to the administrator. The same website offers services like hacking, kidnapping, extortion, disfigurement by an acid attack, and, SA. And that's special. I still think ABC, so you hired a hitman. I'm here for it. I will have a chair in my house picked out, and I'll have them come, and I will make them go to Subway just because it tickles the ever-living funny bone out of me. They're like, hi, my name is Mo in the Deep End, and and they'll be like, what? Wait, no, I was here to meet, Agent 47. Hi, I'm Mo in the Deep End. Take a seat. So just have my little papers, the blackboard of knowing stuff. Be like, come on now. So you're telling me that you tried to hire a hitman on hitmensforhire.com? Is this you? I'm telling you, ABC, you have $1 million hit, and I make it $1 billion hit. But come on, I'm ready and willing to tell people to take a seat and talk to me about why they tried to hire a hit person on the dark web. Anyway, apparently law enforcement were tipped off to a journal at her home listing a slew of other hitmen website, a handwritten history of communications with the online killers market, and a stack of U.S. currency with the note attached addressing a Bitcoin, account. Always good. Keep all the evidence right in that little lockbox of spite you have, Karen. On June 7th, 2023, a federal grand jury indicted Sazar for use of interstate commerce facilities in the commission for a murder for hire. On top of that, more than 8-year sentence, she will have to pay over $5,000 in restitution. Now, I don't recommend doing any of this. Again, I have never gotten women or men if someone cheats and then you two are on the outside of the triangle of the cheater, so the cheater is at the apex. I've never understood why these two bottom rungs go after each other when it seems like this is the douche in question here. Call me crazy, but don't and I don't know, call me crazy too, but I don't know that the deep web or dark web actually is a place where the government can't go. I could be wrong, but I think that's a lie that people that don't understand computer magic tell ourselves. She could have gotten another cat, you know. In what could only be what in the Walmart is going on with those eyebrows and several other questions. Hello, I'm here for the Porsche. A thief stole an SUV, then ran over the owner after pretending to be a prospective buyer. To be fair, she looks like I could hammer throw her, uh, across a field, so I probably wouldn't have been too worried. But what a douche move. A woman who ran over an SUV owner while stealing the vehicle has turned herself in, according to cops in the Toronto area. Peel Regional Police released home surveillance footage from the afternoon of September 6th when a woman went to the victim's home and rang the doorbell in the city of Mississauga. Guessing it's Mississauga. To which is to the west of Toronto in Canada. This was regarding an Auto Trader advertisement in which the owner was selling a 2022 Porsche Cayenne. The suspect says, "Hello, I'm here for the Porsche." She was identified as 18-year-old Sarah Bradshaw in the video. So let's see if we can get this. Now I'm using Brave, and Brave won't let you do sounds, but it will show you the video. Brave lets me not get bombarded with ads. So let me see if I can. And it's Canada, so okay, so Miss Suaga? Interesting. Thank you, Star. Holy giblets. Okay. I did not realize. All right, so yes, she did in fact run him the hell over. Also, I would like to play that video again, but I won't because I know YouTube gets. But I will put the link in the description because that's what it looks like when a car is backing into someone. Did you see how far that man tumbled? Karen Reed investigators, I'm going to need to see footage like this if you want me to believe what you're saying about her hitting him. But, oh, holy giblets, yes. In prison you go or to the center of the sun, ma'am. What the hell is wrong with you? Now, the owner did offer her a test drive, and she answered that she was waiting for her father, but she did say that she would take a look at the vehicle. The footage cut to a vantage point on the SUV. The victim, whose face is blurred, walks around the vehicle. The SUV jostles a bit, and then the victim is appearing to check the rear side or the driver's door before crossing to the rear when the engine roared and she just ran over them. Just insanity. He did manage to stand back up. Police said that the woman fled the scene. Cops released the footage on Wednesday in an attempt to find this, person. She was held in custody pending a bail hearing on September 20th at the Ontario Court of Justice in Brampton, they wrote. Bradshaw is charged with dangerous operation, causing bodily harm, theft of a motor vehicle, failing to remain after an accident resulting in bodily harm, and driving without a license. On top of that, officers said she's been charged with prior fraud cases in Peel and is wanted by other police agencies in the Greater Toronto area. So they are expecting more charges and more arrests. But yeah, I'm glad they found her. Just gross. I don't understand. And it's getting crazy out there, guys. I don't know what's going on. I don't know who is in charge of this new timeline, but they're obviously asleep and not taking our calls. Because here we have this other thing. A new tilt coaster with a track that completely separates midair is coming. See the terrifying video. This is what we call that'll be a hell no in Mo's bucket list. This is a hell no. I don't need this in my life. No one needs this in their lives. Coaster fans are getting ready for the rush of a new thrilling ride in 2025. A record breaking coaster called Siren's Curse will open early summer 2025 at the Ohio amusement park Cedar Point. The new ride was announced Thursday, September 19th, and a press release claims it is the tallest, fastest, longer tilt roller coaster in North America. It was inspired its inspiration is the legend and lore of mysterious creatures living beneath the surface of Lake Erie, spoken of but never spotted, the release explains. The sirens of the lake who lure sailors to their underwater demise with their sweet, seductive songs will finally rise to land and attempt to entrap guests in a sinister 2-minute fate of nonstop roller coaster innovation. That's a negative Night Rider for me. I know some people love roller coasters. I am not one of them. Look, my life is a roller coaster. I need no added dip, dodge, dives, ducks, and tilt-a-whirls in there. I really don't. So I understand some people love them. I do not. The ride climbs up a 160-foot tall Lake Erie shipping crane tower with increasingly sinister sounds. That's when visitors can expect the signature moment of a stop on a broken off section of track. While hovering midair, they will be tilted 90 degrees until they're looking straight down. This is how you get to me to confess to things I didn't do. Riders will then flee from the beckoning call of the siren and plunge into the abyss, which involves zooming through 2,966 feet of track at up to 58 miles. The ride's weightlessness time is about 33, or there's 13 moments where you're going to feel like you're weightless. 2 360-degree zero gravity barrel rolls and a high-speed triple down element with a twisted overbanked track. No. This is a no, guys. This is like driving behind a lumber truck. Squid Pro Quo gets it. This is a divorceable offense in Mo's world. Mr. Mo will drive behind those lumber trucks like he was not permanently scarred by Final Destination like the rest of us, who had to watch that movie. But no, he wants to ride behind them like we're cheating death over here and we have good odds. Okay? I have actually yelled that. I'm like, you understand how much I say irreverent shit about everything all the time, and you're driving right down here behind a lumber truck like God's going to send an angel to protect my irreverent ass. Would you move out the way? Yes, I have actually yelled things like that. Mr. Mo, pray for him for now and at the hour of his death, for I will be annoying him for the rest of his life. So yeah, you guys, there's a new attraction if you want to go. Places Mo will never go willingly would probably be on this coaster. So chalk that up to too many people. Gravity already hurts me enough without help. I need no help from gravity. I fall upstairs. Zach, I know. Why do you think I got married? I try to take myself out of the driving pool, but there are certain times where I must drive myself. It really is terrifying. So there you are. And then in straight, I'm going to need all Lord Chippy attendance. Yes, that is all Lord Chippy attendance. We have a very special guest right here. Yes, we do. One of the foster dads who killed the soul, but I mean her parents already did, who was supposed to be a safe place for the turban kids, all the kids with the parents with the weird bowl cuts. he took a majority of the children that were still, unfortunately, in the system. And they went from one house of horrors into another one. So this man is finally getting charged. And I say, throw away the key. Throw away the key. I'm done. The foster dad who, quote, forced kissed young survivors of birth parents' house of horrors pleads guilty. And I hope he did. I hope he gets all the guilt. Foster father who took in the members of the Turpin family, children who survived horrific abuse that they suffered at the hands of their birth parents, pled guilty to continued assault of the children. Marceliano Olguin entered a guilty plea for 4 counts of lewd acts on a child 14 or 15 years old, 3 counts of lewd acts on a younger child, younger than 14, and 1 count each of false imprisonment and injuring a child, the East Bay Times reported. Olgun faces 7 years in prison. His wife, Rosa, and their daughter, Lennis, pled guilty to 3 counts of willful child cruelty, false imprisonment, and intimidating a witness, the newspaper reported. They were set to a 4-year suspended sentence and probation. So the wife and daughter, who were also in doing this grossness with these children that they, were given the honor to foster. Look, Mr. Moab and I have looked at fostering, when our kids get a little older. And we both have had to sit down and have a serious conversation when I got hurt as to whether we would be able to give these kids everything they need with my more limited mobility. And so our plans might be changing, but we did understand the absolute, lifeline. We still do that, good foster families can have. I mean, as much as I rail about the DCF thing, it doesn't feel right that we don't want to put a little bit of skin in the game, but we also really need to say, hey, things that you can do have really changed. So it just, these people are gross. The biological parents, Louise and David Turpin, were previously sentenced to 25 years to life in prison for abusing 12 of their 13 children in a case dubbed the House of Horrors. Authorities said the couple forced the kids to live in squalid conditions, chained some of them to their beds, and one of the girls said mother Louise Turpin choked her for watching a Justin Bieber video, and that dad, David Turpin, SA'd her since she was 12. After the children's arrest, 5 of the minor Turpin children were sent to live with the Olgins. Unfortunately, life did not get any better for the children. Los Angeles ABC affiliate KABC reported investigators determined that Marcelino was SAing the children at least 50 times, called them smexy and recommended they not wear undershirts, forced kissed them, and pulled a minor on top of his son directly on the sun, just in the sun. Despite knowing about their past abuse, the Olgins reportedly forced the children to stay in their rooms, equipped the doors with door chimes to alert them when the children entered the room, and left their rooms. They also forced the siblings to sit in a circle confession talk. In addition to the 5 Turpin children, the Olgins abused 4 other children. As Long Crime previously reported, Turpin kids have filed at least 1 lawsuit. How about all the lawsuits? I want the Turpin children to be in charge of DCFS in California. That's what I want. I want some kids who have actually been through the system, have seen its horrors. I think they should be able to reform this stuff. They thought they were getting out. I don't even know if Lord Chippy can handle them without, becoming deathly ill. So it might be up to the center of the sun to take care of this. They have filed at least 1 lawsuit against Riverside County and the foster care agency that's placed them with the Olgins. The complaint filed against Riverside County, ChildNet Youth and Family Services, and 50 unnamed defendants, 2 of the Turpin siblings, allege multiple violations of Child Abuse and Negligent Reporting Act, negligence, breaches of duty as they endured continued abuse at the hands of their new guardians. The siblings are identified on the document as Jane Doe 5, John Doe 6 to protect their privacy as victims of childhood abuse and neglect. No, these parents were gross. They kept having children after children. They would renew their vows each year. And the mom seemed to be very unstable to where she wanted to be pregnant and have the child, but not actually do the parenting and raising. It's a case that I'll get into at some point, but it was just the weirdest damn thing. Now, the children lived with Mr. and Mrs. O, and their adult daughter from early 2018 until the three were arrested by deputies with the Riverside County Sheriff's Office in March 2021 for crimes stemming from the alleged SA and CA of the foster children. Defendants knew that they were unfit to be foster parents, particularly for children as vulnerable as the plaintiffs, because Mr. and Mrs. O had a previous history of physically and emotionally, being terrible to children, as well as severely neglecting children who had been placed in their care. How are they still licensed? Ugh. The defendants were aware of credible reports of abuse, neglect committed by Mr. O and Miss O and their adult daughter. However, the defendants did not act on that information. Just absolutely gross. I really hope that this gets more attention. If I have to do a deep dive into it, I will. But like I said, I have 6 children. I have things, finding a good balancing act is what I'm working on. So I can look at some of these bigger cases and take time. And I think I'm sort of doing that okay. But, definitely. Oh my God. Yes. Help. We will have a Mama Bear's Den where we just talk about terrible cases that need some eyes look on them, or just a honey badger den. Parents of all natures are invited. I want this to be a parent thing because I think the more time that we actually sit as parents and talk about these things, true crimers, we can come up with some ideas. But I'm getting really tired of DCFS. I really will say that. Now, someone else who's decided that they might need to be very careful about past posts. Well, Usher. Usher seems to be cleaning his entire history, his X account, again, after Diddy got, handcuffed, but not for fun this time. Usher, whose real name is Usher Raymond IV, I believe, has come under fire for wiping his profile on X. After the arrest of Sean Diddy Combs, with whom he has a lot of history. Yeah, I've heard a lot of people are skipping that. I do. Dang it, y'all, you don't understand. Usually I have a very hard time separating artists from their political ridiculousness. Pink is the one that hurts me the most, because I will say Pink, I think her album with So What, I'm Still a Rock Star came out right as I lost my first husband. And I don't know if there was maybe a better soundtrack for me to just go out and try to kick ass on days that I didn't feel like I had anything. I would crank up, Pink and So What, I'm Still a Rock Star. And I would, fake it another day until I made it, pretending I had all of this stuff figured out. So everyone's allowed to have their opinion. I do wish more actors, actresses, singers, songwriters were more like Dolly Parton and just, said, hey, everyone has an opinion, but everyone buys sneakers, except that was Michael Jordan. But still, I wish we could go back to that time where we didn't have everyone's hot takes and I could just listen to music and be okay. But no. Let's see. Diddy was arrested Monday and charged with multiple offenses, including trafficking and racketeering, and is currently being held in a Brooklyn jail. Usher has previously spoken about the time spent with Diddy, once admitting that he saw various curious things while staying in the music mogul's home. It is a slippery situation. Usher has left many puzzled after completely wiping his X account. As former legal guardian, Diddy faces severe charges related to trafficking and a lot of gross stuff. I am wondering when that bombshell is going to drop. I mean, let's be real. I did not really care about Justin Bieber, but even I noticed that he was surrounded by by a lot of people that seem to be coming out as very questionable. So that is concerning, and I think it's making a lot of us look back at the early '90s, or late '90s, early aughts. I mean, what was going on with all those kids? I mean, we seem to, it seems like a running joke now, you know, child actor turns insane. But what did they do to Britney Spears? What did they do to all these kids that requires or has, you know, so many uh just awful things? Who wants to put their kids in Hollywood? I don't get it. I don't get it. I've been approached. I will say, not braggadociously or anything. I've been approached by people who want my daughters to look at modeling. And I'm like, no. First of all, I'm not paying you, because then it turns out to be an MLM thing where you get to pay to have them teach your daughters how to spin on a. I was like, no. But I don't understand the parents that are so absolutely gung ho about their kids getting fame. It's really weird. It's creepy. I don't get it. Um, you know, we ended up not, obviously, my daughter's not a model because we weren't going to spend $1,000 to teach her how to twirl. But there, it has to speak to some need or some loss that's in this parent, that you would want to invest all this in an industry that has shown it will screw your kids up big time. I don't get it. So there you go. A lot of people are scrubbing their ex timelines. I don't think they've heard of the archive or Wayback Machine, but God bless and Godspeed. I don't know that that'll work out for you, but there you go. For all of us, I am actually going to probably be doing a very short stream this morning. The Wade Wilson one, it'll probably be about an hour. Because I am going to be taking 2 of my 6 kiddos to urgent clinic to see if they've got strep throat. But we do have a pediatric ER doctor that's going to tell us their number one tip for surviving cold and flu season. And if it's not gin, I don't know what I've been doing wrong. Every patient knows that cold and flu season is nothing to sneeze at. Dr. Megan Martin, a pediatric emergency medicine physician and mom of 4, has the perfect solution to fall and winter blues. A sick box filled with fever medicine, vomit bags, a digital thermometer, pulse oximeter, allergy medicine, electrolyte powder, throat pops, and nasal mist. You know, old Mo used to have a box ready to go. New Mo needs to get her stuff in a group, because I this last couple of years I've been like, what? It's fall again? How did that happen? Now it's time to be prepared. Martin, who works at Johns Hopkins All Children's Hospital, and well, never mind. We can completely disregard all of her approach. What I will say is I generally do have, you know, Tylenol, kids Tylenol, that kind of thing. I will say that I always have those things around, and I usually buy 2. And I know it's going to sound crazy, but I have an extra emergency bucket downstairs full of, like, you know, Tylenol, Zofran, not Zofran, not Dexatrim, not the thing for Dramamine. I was like, Diflucan, no, that's not right. What is the D word that helps when you're dizzy? I was like, no. But it it doesn't hurt to have all the things in your house, to have, you know, whatever is the comfort food du jour in your house. You know, like I always have chicken and star soup. I always have a couple tomato soups, even though I think tomato soup is gross. But I have certain things. Thank you, everyone in chat, because I was like, I know it's not good. It's Dramamine. It just slowly, the mental thought train was apparently blocked by everything. But it doesn't hurt. I will say that I do have these things. If I if I go to the store, I know we're low on ibuprofen, I will get 2 or 3 bottles because I know that that means that we have completely gone through my entire supply because I am type A to function. I have one for the kitchen, one for, my bathroom, and then one for, the storage sort of medical center downstairs. Just being prepared is good. She said that you should have, pain relievers and fever reducers. You know what your kiddos like to take. She does now. This doctor does recommend having suppositories, like fever reduction suppository. Uh, if kids are refusing to take medicine, some kids don't like it. Now, how having a kid that doesn't like to take medicine, trying to do a suppository is about well, it's a highlight of parenthood. I'll just let you guys find out yourself because yeah, it's always the best thing. That's Captain Kern. That's how I used to be. I am slowly getting back to that. That's uh, the one thing that I will say has been harder to get back on stride. But make sure you have a thermometer. Make sure you have thermometer covers, or I disinfect with mouthwash between each stuff. I will say instead of having vomit bags, look here, y'all. Here's the thing, Mama Mo, veteran of all of the illness and poop explosions, and please don't have me tell you about this because I can't drink in the morning. Have a serving bowl. If you've got a bowl that you use that's big and deep, just use that as your puke bucket. You don't just use it. Don't try to do all these crazy, trash can, grocery bag. Just don't. Just have a bucket. Have your own setup, whatever works for you. But if you live with Mr. Mo and he tells you, no, you cannot clean your house with holy fire, I would recommend a bucket. And God bless America. The holy grace that happens when all of your kids are old enough to not only identify when they're going to get sick, but can get the bucket themselves. You guys, I don't often speak about miracles, but there has been nothing more miraculous than to have the youngest, most feral identify for himself beyond, I don't feel good, and then just everywhere. Now he is able to identify, I think I might could not be feeling good. And he sort of goes and I have the bucket next to him. Look, there are not always big miracles in motherhood, but sometimes that is a miracle. Can I tell you, I love my children, but after 6, you get to know that that is a beautiful day when the children can figure out, yes, I feel like I am going to get quite sick. I think I shall head toward the kitchen, bathroom, or wherever we, go and do that there. Oh, awesome. I will have to okay, that makes some sense. I've been trying to get them to I make mine. Look, there are few kryptonites in my mom thing, but picking up sick, I am. Look, it's a kryptonite. Mr. Mo has told me we cannot burn down entire houses because someone got sick in them. I still contend that is against my Geneva Convention. But yes. And the only other tip I would tell you is there's this stuff called odor ban, and it's in where like the Lysol spray stuff. It's all botanical. It smells like eucalyptus, but it does disinfect, and that is my go-to now when I don't want to have harsh smells and things like that. And it's also dead use. They have it at Sam's Club. You can get a big old gallon. That's the only other that supply. And look, here's the real deal, guys. You're going to get sick. Everyone's going to get sick. I don't care if you sage the hell out of your house, have an Episcopal, an Orthodox, and a Unitarian priest come into your house and sage it together. We're going to get sick. Don't don't try to carry on as normal. Take a rest yourself. Parents, we need you to be healthy too. So don't try to, go crazy. And sometimes cuddling with your kid, even though they're a little furnace and they're not feeling good, and you're pretty sure you're going to get, either snotted or thrown up on, are those memories that they will remember, uh, when they're young or when they're older, and they remembered that mom took care of me no matter what end I was projectiling from. And, you know, hopefully they'll remember that. Hopefully. That's all I'm banking on, people. So there you go. Have just normal supplies. You guys know how you run your houses. I'm not going to tell you what to get, but it does help if you have, you know, just regular supplies. I know I went down the crazy prepping hole, but definitely just have some supplies so you don't have to, when you are tired, you're dealing with a sick child who just wants some daggone, soup with funny stars in it, and you have to go to Walmart and you've got like one pink eye, like remnants of God knows what, like a tissue in your bra. Just have some stuff ready to go. Just You don't want to be that chick who's out in like one PJ slipper, one croc, looking for the last thing of Gatorade. You don't. You just don't want to. And that stinks. Teachers, be kind. Back to, well, less snot, but more of a snot. Mr. Beast, YouTube's biggest star, now faces a 54-page lawsuit. If that isn't a face of, well, I'm facing a 54-page lawsuit, it always tickles me when the pictures match up when you know they weren't taken for that particular thing. 500 million fans, $1 million multi-million personal fortune, and a global business empire. It would take a lot to dethrone YouTube's biggest influencer, Jimmy Donaldson, aka Mr. Beast. But a 54-page court document may be his toughest test yet. 5 female contestants on upcoming Prime Video show Mr. Beast or Beast Games are launching legal action against his production company, Mr. B 2024, and Amazon in Los Angeles. Billed as the largest ever reality competition series, 1,000 contestants are set to compete for $5 million when the show airs or if it airs. The lawsuit has plunged the show into crisis. Along with many redacted pages, the legal document includes allegations that they, quote, particularly and collectively suffered in an environment that systematically fostered a culture of misogyny and sexism. Have you ever been to Hollywood? I feel like. Also, I refuse to buy his chocolate. Squab Bob, I am the meanest mom ever. Youngest, most feral, has gotten in some pretty big trouble. He has lost his pad for a long time, unless he needs it for the extra math. And he was like, I bet Mr. Beast doesn't get grounded. And I was like, probably not. He just gets felonies. He didn't find that funny or amusing. I found it hilarious. Let's see here. Meals provided were sporadic and sparse and endangered the health and welfare of the contestants. In one section, where almost all the claims were redacted from public view, it says that defendants created and permitted to exist and fostered a culture and pattern and practice of sexual harassment, including in forms of hostile work environment. Back in August, the New York Times spoke to more than a dozen of the yet unreleased show's participants and reported that there were several hospitalizations on set, with one person telling the paper they had gone over 20 hours without being fed. The contestants also alleged they hadn't received their medicine on time. The BBC approached Mr. Beast and Amazon, but they have yet to publicly comment. So I think this is what happens when you have a person who's not very savvy, who rises to fame doing what he was doing, which was, my kids are hooked. My kids loved Mr. Beast. Then he's trying to move into all of this other stuff that I don't think he has any idea what he's doing. and can be led to make some really bad choices. I personally have no desire to see this new reality show, but it can't be any worse than when Sam Hyde created a reality TV show, and aren't all the people that went on that um, still in therapy? I mean, again, you see Mr. Beast, you sign up for the ticket. I kind of feel like don't align yourself with shady people, but maybe I'm expecting too much logic here. I mean, and to finish off, how we all feel sometimes. Uh, a SUV was spotted parked atop a dumpster in Florida. It is, in fact, the Ford, dumpster fire fusion. I would buy it. You have no idea. They put a dumpster at the back of a Ford. I am ready to go. The mystery of an SUV seen perched atop a Florida dumpster was revealed to have involved a poorly timed parking job, a construction site, and a forklift. Scott Greenberg said he was on his way to the store when he spotted the vehicle parked on top of a dumpster off East Point Drive in Fort Myers. I had to do a double take. I texted my buddy. I'm like, is that fair game? Is that free? It's in the dumpster, Greenberg told WBBH TV. Turned out the SUV had been lifted onto the dumpster by a forklift operator, construction worker to helping build a new apartment complex. Workers said that the vehicle had been parked in a work area. Sometimes when you park where you're not supposed to, this is what happens, a construction person said. The vehicle was later removed from the dumpster and relocated to a parking space away from the work area. Construction workers said they learned the SUV belongs to a contractor who loans it to out-of-town workers in need of transport. Well, I guess they'll learn never to park, try to parallel park ever again. That's a note to anyone brave enough to drive with me. Mo does not parallel park. Parallel parking is a trick, man, that is designed to trap, happily passing drivers at Mo, 17, well, okay, a lot more than 17 years ago, but still, it's entrapment. No one uses it. I will stand to this day that I have never had to parallel park because I could always find a different parking spot. Therefore, it should be abolished. I'm just kidding. Mr. Mo is watching this like there's a reason we pay to get our children, our children real driver's ed other than you. Can you imagine me going on a hour-long diatribe about how parallel parking is simply entrapment? Fundian, no. There's a reason Mo decided not to become a big rig driver, because I would have loved to have my handle like, hey, this is Hot Mama, rack of justice on her way, 10-4, good buddy. I would love to do that, but I also know I suck out loud at driving big giant cars, so no. No, I'm actually incredible antique. I wish, and you guys, as an aside, personal housekeeping, I am going to try the English. I put hooked on phonics on my wish list. We're going to be okay here. I am going to try the wish list thing on Buy Me a Coffee because I don't know what's going on with Amazon. And you are never, ever asked to contribute. I appreciate you guys, subbing. I know that some of you were looking at different ways to contribute. So I am going to be working on that today or tomorrow, depending on what the, Minute Clinic says. So that's kind of nebulous, but I am listening to you guys. I am working on merch stuff. It takes me a lot longer than everyone else, I guess. But I did want to let you guys know, I have no idea what's going on with Amazon. I am beyond trying to deal with Amazon right now. So I am definitely doing that, listening to you guys and trying to improve. If I think that is all for today. And just another little housekeeping thing. Mr. Mo and I are looking at definitely having a better, work-life balance. So there might be some changes to the evening plan. I might, pre-record the evening good evenings with Mo or nightly newsy news, or it might be at 6 earlier, just so we can dedicate more of that time to some family time to address some stuff that I think I've been noticing with the family culture. We've been having a lot of more back talk lately. I blame Mr. Beast, to be very honest with you. It's not my fault ever, but definitely notice some things that we want to address. Yes, the 10 a.m. is still on. I'm going to move it to, or I'm going to have it at 10 a.m. It will just probably be a shorter one so I can get an hour in on that. But then we will be going to the Minute Clinic to see if everyone has strep. We're all getting new toothbrushes, you guys. I hope you guys realize that since we have, what is it now that I've adopted all the internet? Look, we're all getting generic toothbrushes. I will be bringing home stickers so you can personalize it though. But I can't afford to get everyone their own little $5 electric toothbrush. So there you go. Everyone is getting generic toothbrushes. and, and we can do that. But I will see you guys later on the Wade Wilson Board of Truth, and then tonight for Nightly Newsy News. And I will get back to you guys when we figure out a good plan on how to do everything, all the things, and all the day. Ooh, I did not know that. So have a wonderful day. Be kind to yourself, be kind to others, and I will see you guys in a little bit. I'm going to continue working on rotating laundry and maybe get a quick mop in because, you know, glamour. Now I don't have my kitten heels on, but pretend I'm June Cleaver. Bye, you guys.